Hello fight fans, in today's news, Alexander Volkanovski predicts Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Daniel Cormier believes Justin Gaethje is still one win away from the title. Charles Oliveira reveals he is considering moving to welterweight. Alexandre Pantojja says he smashed Sean O'Malley in a sparring session. Alexander Volkanovski predicts this week's main event fight between Alexandre Pantojja and Steve Erceg. As an Aussie, Volk supports Steve Erceg and reckons he's going to shock the world. Here's what he said.
Steve Erceg
taking on Alexandre Pantojja,
who's
also a hometown boy.
Yeah, so I did say that I was going for all that. I'm not on this one though, right? Obviously, I'm always backing my guy Steve Erceg, always backing the Aussies, and I think he can get it done. I'm not just saying it because he's Aussie. Obviously, it is a tall ask. This is a big fight for him, but I think when we talk about technique. He's very well-rounded. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to capitalize on opportunities that are going to be there. And we know Pantojja is very tough, very scrappy, very dangerous. Yep. But there are going to be openings that Steve Erceg can capitalize. And I think he's the right fighter. I know with Pantojja and being in the flyweight division, you know, being wild and powerful and scrappy, it can work because, you know, they're not the heaviest punchers in that division, you could say. But Steve Erceg proved that he can knock you out, you know? So I think that this is a wrong man to just have that sort of style against. I think Steve Erceg can definitely catch him, even with what we've seen in his last fight. A nice two down the pipe, big hook, while Pantojja's coming in scrapping.
Daniel Cormier recently shared his thoughts on Justin Gaethje's future after his loss to Max Holloway. DC doesn't believe things are too bleak for Justin and thinks he is still just one win away from earning another shot at the title. Here's what he had to say.
What are your thoughts on Gaethje right now?
You know, I spoke to Dustin Poirier, Chael, for my YouTube channel before he fought in Miami, and I asked him, I said, what do you think about you in terms of the title picture? Well, he said, I am always one great win from fighting for a belt. He goes out and knocks out Benoit Saint-Denis. Islam doesn't have an opponent. Bang, insert Dustin Poirier. It always works. And I believe that Justin Gaethje is in the same situation. Justin Gaethje is one win away from ultimately standing across the octagon from the champion because he's that popular, he's been that important, and all of the things that he's accomplished since he got to the UFC.
Charles Oliveira surprised many with his announcement to consider moving to the welterweight division for big money fights. While some fans were shocked, others believe it's the right decision for him to pursue money fights at this stage of his career. Here's what he said. Why not? Why not take a fight that will lead us to money and history and legacy? We have to think about it and talk to the organization. Why not move up in weight and do a big fight? A fight that makes sense and gives us money? Why not? I left Las Vegas asking for another fight right away. I want to fight as early as possible. I had 2 or 3 stitches over my eye, but that's gone already. I have no injuries whatsoever. I'm ready to fight again as soon as the UFC calls me. Of course, I don't have anything to prove to anyone and everybody knows my history in the UFC, so there's no point accepting fights with the rank 8 or 10 in the division. I want to fight people who are ahead of me. That's why we have to wait and think, analyze the next step we'll take. My managers and coaches will analyze that. Alexandre Pantojja recounts the time he defeated bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley in sparring. Despite this victory, he still doesn't consider moving up a weight class and prefers to stay in his division. Here's what he said.
That's crazy, Scott, because right now the champion for the bantamweight is Sean O'Malley, you know, and I have some history with him, you know. Before I start talking about O'Malley, he talked first about me, you know. And I don't understand how he started talking because I'm sparring with him like 6 years ago for my first UFC fight. And he say some bad things about that, you know. And that's crazy because he recorded the sparring. And at the end of the training, I say, hey, send to me to the video. And then I can then see your training and everything. And he never passed the training for me. And I asked Cejudo, hey Cejudo, can you talk with your friend for him send them the video? And Cejudo said to me, hey, he's not gonna send to you, bro. You smash him. He's not gonna send to you. I say, okay, that's okay. Doesn't matter. But I never think about go to up to the bantamweight, you know, because it don't make sense for me. I have a huge opponents for fighting flyweight. But the only thing I can imagine is to go to the bantamweight and fight with O'Malley because he said something bad. And what is nice, because 6 years ago, I make my debut in UFC. He's not in UFC, and right now I'm a flyweight champion. He's a bantamweight champion. That's good history, you know.
And that wraps up today's news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe bell to stay in the loop. Keep supporting the sport, and we will see you in the next one.